Hello everyone, and welcome to our next little farm strat video. This video will this video will be about what I like to call the Kingsmarch Strat. Before I go into full explanation of that, though, in case you missed my last video, the idea of this little series is to showcase a bunch of different strats that exist now in 3.25. These are not strats I came up with, like a bunch of other streamers did them, a bunch of other people did them. I didn't create them, I didn't do a lot of work with them. They're just a bunch of ones that I ran, that other people ran, that friends ran. And I just wanted to put out a post on Reddit and list all these strats out and what scarabs they use and the atlas tree that goes to them, just so if somebody is coming to late to the league, or they're looking for something fresh and new to farm, or they want to switch over. We still have a couple months until early access for POE 2. We still have probably a little longer than that until the next league, so there's still plenty of playtime left, and some people are getting burned out or tired or don't know what to farm, or they're not sure even to begin with what to farm and what makes money and so on and so forth. So I just thought I would put out a little compilation post, I guess, and put a whole bunch of different strats on there, and people can pick and choose and jump between them. Like, to me, the biggest downside to a game like this is boredom. So if you're running the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over, like, you're probably going to burn out. So if you mix that up and do a whole bunch of different things, it kind of keeps it feeling fresh and new, and kind of still keeps the goal going. So that's the idea of these, okay? So without further ado, we're going to jump into this next strat that I want to showcase. Now, this one is basically farming for Kingsmarch, okay? So the league is huge, it's very popular, the currency exchange is great, but it costs a ton of gold, okay? Tons and tons and tons of gold. It costs tons of gold to do the mappers, to do the rerolls, to upgrade, to do whatever, and then dust, right? Dust and gold, dust and gold. So a ton of people are asking, where do I get gold? What's the best strat to do? And they're like, I always need gold, I don't have that much time, so on and so forth. So this is basically the best strat that I've seen, heard, and tested myself for getting gold and dust, okay? T17s, I'm going to do probably my next video. They are okay, they are good, but T17s take a little bit more investment, and they take a little bit more time. This is a straight T16, basically rogue exile farming strat, gives you a ton of gold, ton of uniques, which gives you a ton of dust, and with that, the maps are pretty fast. It's pretty basic. You pretty much go in, you can push a little bit more gold in T17s and stuff, but you can do T16s way quicker than you can do T17, and that's not even counting the boss, which usually has multiple phases and multiple, So without further ado, let's get into this one. We'll just simply pop it out, run a strat. First, we'll start with scarabs, okay? Scarabs are very cheap, very easy to attain for this one. We basically grab 2 that are rogue exiles. We grab 2 for rogue giants. Now, rogue giants, if you don't know what they are, you'll see them in the map, but they basically make a larger rogue exile, and then they kind of act like nesting egg. You kill one, and it splits off into 2 smaller ones. Kill one, and it splits off into 2 small ones. And it does that, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times, and each one it drops gold, rarity, items, unique, so on and so forth. Now, even for this, I have probably 95% plus of my uniques turned off. You can still hear the drop sound. Sometimes you'll kill something and not see anything on the screen, so you can tell how many uniques go off in an actual map. But we do these 4, and then we do Titanic here, okay? So this gives increased toughness and damage for uniques per pack size, but it also gives rarity and quant, which give a crap ton of more gold. So altars we will farm when we pump in. We're also looking for basically quant altars, so we're low and blue altars. This does make things a little bit tankier. Now we put some exiles on the tree. Now I'll link an atlas tree, so I won't go into this a ton, but we basically have a bunch of just basic, the map stuff, the scarab stuff, the quant stuff, and then we have a whole bunch of all the effect stuff. We don't take this node because we actually don't have quality on our maps because we're running 8-mod maps. We have all the normal map stuff. We have a few of the shittier mechanics blocked for scarabs. This is actually not even the right tree, so completely ignore that. This is the exile one. It's actually almost the same thing. Most of the trees have basically some version of that. Now this one's on here. This is actually a wasted point because we're running 8 mod maps and they're not qualityed, but so same thing, scarabs, all that stuff. The only difference is there's basically 3 rogue exile wheels. Zoom out a little bit. This one, this one, this one, okay? This one down here just gives additional rewards and rogue exiles have more life. This one gives 20% chance for the boss to be accompanied by rogue exiles, which is just more rogue exiles. And then this one is rogue exiles are possessed by tormented spirits. And then this is the best, like what we're hoping for, the best outcome for the map is to get 20 additional rogue exiles on top of the exiles that we're all getting from this. Okay, now with tormented spirits and rogue exiles and large rogue exiles and the Titanic Scarab, and then they're all possessed, like it can be sort of challenging. Now if you have a decent build or any kind of block, like mostly you're okay. You'll have to do it and test it yourself. You could totally drop, like these are very I'm in the right tree. These are very subjective. If you like, if the tormented spirit and them being possessed is too much for you, just don't run it. Like it's fine. The Titanic Scarab is pretty good and does add a lot more golden stuff and drops, but it also adds a lot of toughness and damage. So if you can't run this, or it's early league or anything like that, or your character's not great, you can just run with a partnership instead. And duplicate the exiles. It will be less gold overall, but obviously if you can't do the other one, that's probably your best option. Anyway, we will jump into a map here. I have a bunch of dunes. They're all 8 modded. Basically all pack size of 40 or higher. This one is 39, so on and so forth. We'll just take one and launch it up. I guess I need to put in my scarabs first. Then we're just going to add Anarchy for a couple more scarabs, 3 more exiles on the device. Launch it up. Now I dumped my gold. My gold is at 0. Now this averages usually, I would say, 45k gold-ish per map on average, okay? So some maps will be less, some maps will be more, some will depend on what other things spawn, some will, if you get the 20 exiles, this shows 3, you can see these little icons, the 3 little, the div card currency, that's exiles that have extra rewards. So it's not every exile that's going to have that, but I think it's 50% chance to have additional rewards, okay? So for gold, like if you get the 20 exile, I've literally gotten, get out of here. I guess it's a good showcase for this one. You'll kind of see how he split into multiple little tinier rogue exiles. This is also a big one. And each one drops all the gold. So you pick up the gold just killing those 2 exiles. I already got almost 4,000 gold, okay? So the best, if you get 20 additional exiles and spawns with the 8% chance you run through the map, you can literally get sometimes over 100,000 gold in a single T16 map, okay? So we're going to run blue altars. We're going to grab all the quant rarity type shit we can. The only other thing I want to talk about is ritual, okay? Now, I run ritual on my normal Atlas things anyway. I don't spec huge into them. I don't do a bunch of re-rolls or scarabs or anything, but I grab the thing for 4 ritual altars, and then I grab the increased chance, so there's like a 90% chance or something to have ritual altars on the map. Any exiles that spawn in the ritual circle will spawn in the other one. Now, I'm not going to run through the map and check all the altars and go back. Some people will do that. It might be worth it to some people. I really hate backtracking and running through a map twice, but you can totally do that. The idea is throwing a bunch of rituals on here is that if you get a rogue exile or multiple rogue exiles that spawn in a ritual encounter, then every ritual encounter after that is going to respawn those exiles, and then you're going to get even more gold, even more uniques, even more drops. So if you get one, sometimes you can literally get 3, 4, or 5 exiles in a ritual, and then you do like 2, 3 more ritual, you get like literally an absolute insane amount of gold. This one is actually kind of lucky. Bismuth is pretty good. It adds some mods, which also add a little bit of font rarity. This is an absolute terrible spot for a ritual to spawn. It's probably the worst ritual I've probably ever seen. It's complete. There's probably like 10 monsters on here because it's trapped in a corner all by itself. So I don't like backtracking, but that one I'm totally going to save for the end because it is by far the absolute worst one. I think we've killed a total of 4 or 5 exiles. Now, they don't also have 100% chance to be rogue giants, so I think it's like 60% with the scarab, because each scarab is 30%. So you will kill some that just don't do anything. This one's split, those ones split, you get a whole bunch of gold. This is a pretty good section, though I don't think there was a rogue exile. You also can't lure, like you can't like pull an exile over and kill it on the altar and then have it included. It has to spawn automatically in there already. I almost died. Those notifications in the corner are so annoying. I wish you could turn up. You can turn them off in the menu. Just in case anybody doesn't know that, there is a thing for Kingsmarch notifications to turn on all the way at the bottom, but I think that stops like if your boat is seized or your map runners are seized or something like that. I just wish I could turn off the map complete ones, to be perfectly honest, but we have a Sacred Grove, which for now, so I think these two spawned, I'll check, but I think these 2 exiles spawned in the ritual. These guys are slowing the crap out of me. I don't know if that was grasping vines or what, but alright. So we'll see. We'll pop this one, see what's on here. The mods, just in case we want to see them, there's a lot of really weird, like most of the mods are fine with me. This one feels like a little slow, and it's probably you can see how much the pack size and everything else gets scaled. Reduced effective auras, extra life. Now when you bottle these, it shows you like what's in here. So this had 1 exile in it. This one had nothing. This one had 1. So now they had this 1 exile, Damoi Tui. Every single ritual I do now, like this one right here, that exile is going to spawn, and then it's going to redrop me gold. And if it was a rogue giant, then when it splits down, it's gonna be a rogue giant in every single one because it's gonna be the same mod. And there he is. And he was not a rogue giant, actually. And then the ritual itself also drops gold from the monsters. Like, some mechanics do, some don't. Any naturally spawning mobs usually drop gold, so like ritual strong boxes, things like that. This one spawned exiles next to the boss, which is like a 20% chance, I think. So we actually had a decent amount of rogue exiles on this one. Fortress map, which is good. The divs straight up. So this map is actually going pretty slow because of the showcase, and there is these exiles that keep snaring me. Normally you can rip through these maps like even faster. This snare, whatever the hell this is, keeps slowing me down like a lot. It's ensnaring arrow, it's gotta be from an exile or something. But even this, like, I mean, it only took a few minutes, right? But you can really zip through these two, especially if you don't get ritual or you do, and you sit like you can go through these maps pretty fast. I have some extra shrines on here just for a little extra power, helps a little bit. This had definitely a good amount of exiles. I don't think it was super crazy as compared to like some maps, but we should have a decent amount of gold. And we have the harvest, we will do at the end, and then we'll do this crappy ritual off here in the corner. So 8 mod maps are definitely the best for the pack size because it scales with the Titanic Scarab. And it gives increased rarity quants based on the pack size of the map, so obviously the more pack size the better. We have 60 pack size, I think, total on this map. 60% because it's 40 something and then it scales with all the map effects. We only had 1 exile, so that's for rituals. That's actually pretty bad, and we still got 40,800 gold. Okay, so that's basically all it is. Now, I didn't find a whole lot of uniques either. Now again, most of them are turned off. You can see on the filter, but they literally drop all over. Like from the exiles when they're juiced up, like there's a million that you get. So basically that's it. That's the whole strat. You kill exiles, you do the altars, you do the rituals, you try to get the exiles to spawn more, and then you can rip through maps really quickly. And if you're pulling out, on average, I would say get between 35 and 45k gold. So I say this one was pretty average straight up. You get one that has good ritual spawns, and a bunch of whole extra exiles that it spawn, and you get that. You can literally pull out 120k gold like per map, and a map on average is only going to take you a few minutes to run through because there's not a whole lot of mechanics. Like the slowest part is probably doing the 4 rituals. You can even skip the rituals if you really want, if there's no exiles in them or you haven't captured any. I do them because I'm not really into fully min-maxing, hey, I need to make, 5 million gold an hour or whatever it is, but that's basically it. So I'm going to throw up my next video will be coming out hopefully later, and it's going to be a bunch of T17 map farming strategies. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully this will help you guys get some gold, some uniques, some dust, and get your Kingsmarch rolling, especially if you have to go to work or you're gone for a couple days. Or this will definitely help you accumulate some gold and dump it into your Kingsmarch so those farmers can keep on going. That's about it, so see you guys next time.